When I asked the archaeologist what he found here, he said it's absolutely amazing, it's amazing. So I said to him, okay, are you going to, would you be prepared to do a walk for us and explain it all to us? He said no. He said no, I can't. I said why? Because the land has already been sold and it's going to be developed. What, you're going to destroy the site? He said yes, it's all going to go. I said, well, why can't the Antiquities Authority say that they don't want it to be sold? He said that the land has already been sold, it's in private hands, and we've got no choice.
Here we are in the outskirts of Modiin, in the industrial area, you can see behind me. And my friend called me and said that there is this amazing archaeological site that no one really knows about. And we're going to explore it. And from what I can tell, it's really, really big, and it has not really been touched much. Let's go check it out. Here we have a grape press where they used to put all the grapes down here and smash them to get the juice out, and then it would all end up in this pool over here so that they can make the wine.
Called Khorbat Zakariya. That is the Islamic name that is brought down. Locals refer to it as Khorbat Zakariya, the ruin of Zakariya. Zakariya tells us that there was a holy person that was in the area that the site is named after, and that is the Islamic tradition, Zakariya being a holy saint that is buried close to the site. Marion, give us a feel as to why this site is important to you. Marion was the one to introduce me to the site. It's actually my first time visiting, and she was very passionate in making value of the site for the people living in Modiin today, and a site that we'd like to keep here for many others to come and enjoy and to understand.
I'm living in Modiin since the very early days, so I'm coming up to 24 years, and I think within a month of me moving here I got involved with the Society for Preservation of Sites and Landscape in Modiin, which is now defunct unfortunately, and I think I'm the only person left. My mindset is very strongly towards preservation of sites that are likely to be destroyed. This site was excavated as a salvage dig probably 3 years ago now, and dates back to early Islam, the early Islamic period, but possibly also Byzantinian. In the 8th century, it was damaged very badly by an earthquake, but until then, it seems to have been quite important. It had industry here. It turns out that this area actually belonged to Lod and Ramleh, which were important cities at that time. There's evidence of glass making here, and also pottery, and there are also presses, whether for wine or for olives. So from that point of view, it was important.
Over here we have a cistern that was used for storing water for the village.
came here and they rebuilt the town. There are signs here actually. They strengthened some of the building foundations and some of the remains of the walls because they realised that they could easily fall. And it continued to be a town. Now, what has been excavated here is huge, but it's only a part of what is here. I got here more than 20 years ago, and I soon realised that this was the area where the Maccabees lived, and I got to know the history of the area quite well, and that's all I ever thought about until I heard about this site. And now, having seen the site, I realise that the Byzantinians had a big important story here. They were a continuation of life in this area. In Byzantinian times, they still had pilgrimages to Jerusalem because churches were starting up. And all along the roadways and pathways, you would find hostelries or monasteries, churches. And over the last 24 years, I hear about, they've just destroyed a Byzantinian site, or there was something Byzantinian here and it was destroyed. They made way for whatever. They've destroyed a lot of the Byzantinian story already. So another reason for keeping this site is, in my opinion, it should be developed and made accessible for tourists, and to have explanations of the industries that were taking place and explanations of how people lived in those days, explain the stones, explain what there is here, and make it into an attraction. It would be so interesting.
Hey everyone, Bengineer here. Today's video is something that I just happened to stumble upon. I got a call from the running tour guide who said he got a call from a very special person that wanted to show him a local site, and we wanted to make a video about it, and it's in danger of being completely destroyed. Now, I jumped in for the ride because, someone calls, I'm there, and I'll drag my drone and my camera, and I want to see what's going on. Once I got there, this site completely blew me away. I have not seen a site like this big and this untouched, so to speak, anywhere in the country. I can name a few places that have been developed and are that wide and protected that visitors can come to, less than 10. And this site to me completely, it just blew me away. I brought my kids with me. They also had an amazing time going and looking through the history and climbing over the rocks. And looking on the ground and seeing everything almost intact. This video is to be able to show you just a small portion of it, but also to show you the enormous size of this spot and the history that's there and the history that is still yet to be discovered. We have several sites in Modiin where you can go and walk through the history, and this, to me, needs to be added to that list, because this site is like nothing I've ever seen. And this is why I've, have taken the time to put together this video. And there's a petition that Marion, who brought us to the site, created. And the only way we're going to get anything done or have any possibility of protecting this, and we still don't know what's possible and what is not, we need to start with the petition. So take 2 minutes and go to modiinheritage.org, and at the bottom of the page you will see the petition to sign up, and please go and take the 2 seconds and sign up, and let's see if we can save this history for everyone to be able to see it and enjoy it and explore it like I have been able to. Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe and like and share this video. It is extremely important, and I can't wait to bring you the next videos on their way.